Calling all card fighters. We welcome you to the Dojo, a Card Fighters podcast, starting now.
So I forgot to unmute, but that's okay. Nice. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dojo. Episode 10. We finally made it to double digits. I know we're missing some videos on YouTube. We'll get them up there, I promise. But this weekend, or last weekend to be more correct, was the Kingslayer Cards P-Clan Selection Release Series Tournament. They also gave invites to invitationals for whoever topped in that one. Overall, first tournament, by the way, with the new P-Clan selection stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was overall amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
It went so well. We saw so many new things. And in the end of it, something old ended up topping. But I cannot complain about it. Because our boy over here, Logan Johnson, taking the win, first place with Mega Colony. Oh, wait, whoops.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm finally back. It's been like 6 episodes or something like that since I've been on, but I'm finally back with a dub. So
His first.
Yeah, my first top, and ironically, is first place.
Best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. We had an astounding number of players show up.
Like 70,
We had like
78?
yeah, I think we had 78 players show up to this event, and that is ridiculous compared to the last few events. That's more than double what there were the last few events for premium, which is amazing to me. And I'm just like, I really won the biggest event that we've had so far for premium. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm very thankful for my teammates. Thankful for Kingslayer for running the event, and also for Team Kingslayer. A lot of them were role models and inspirations for me. So thank you to you guys. But yeah, it was a long, long day.
So we don't want to leave him in the dust over here. We got the one and only Jared Maxfield. Been in the game for 4 months. Trained him with my own hands. I'm kidding, I did it.
I've been
This dojo created this man.
I've been a project of the team. What can I say?
He is the boy.
This was my first big event. Honestly, first event bigger than locals. And while I didn't get first place, like our boy Logan over here, I did end up topping with, in top 16, I got 14th place. So I am very proud of myself. It was a really fun event. And obviously getting to see the KSC guys again is always a good time. But I also met a lot of new people during the event. There are a lot of really awesome people. So like he said, thank you to the KSC guys for organizing the event. And thank you to everyone there that just kind of played and had a great time.
They're thinking everybody but me. I'll take the hit. Okay, I'll take the hit. It's my dojo, but it's okay. It's okay.
Thanks to the team.
I know. I'm more than just the team. But no. All kidding aside, Richard runs some amazing events, and to totally be honest, the East Coast has one of the biggest span of card fighters. Competitive too, like it's insane, and being able to see like a good turnout like that, like we didn't hit 100, but it was great.
We're getting there.
Okay, we're getting there, right?
Close.
After being technically away, they were still running the events just down in the shop, rebuilding back up, right? They weren't hitting those numbers. They were 30, 40. This literally was double their amount.
Yeah, exactly.
And premium was more than double. That was like quad.
Yeah.
Premium tournaments would be like 25 people.
Yeah.
We were 70, 78. We might as well have been 3 times.
Exactly. We had almost triple the amount of people come out for these events, and I'm very glad that everybody did. Gave a lot of people more motivation to play the game, and that the game isn't dying, or premium at least as a format isn't dying. So I'm very glad that we got 78 people out.
I think what's crazy is just the amount of people after the premium event picking up premium now.
Oh yeah.
So like one off the bat, like I saw my boy Nick Santos calling you out, bro. Calling you out. Guy loved Vanquisher back in G. The second V came out, he sold it. He was like, the game's dying, I'm done, I'm not doing this, right? You can tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. And then this man post yesterday is like, all right, guys, getting back into premium. Don't get mad at me. Vanquisher. right? And he's asking for cards. Mind you, I don't have any extras. I'm sorry, dude.
That's how it be. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. You can't play Narukami and expect me to have extras. Like, I only
Yeah.
keep my play set.
Yeah, what's his name? The Naru Samurai? He doesn't have extras. Come
Any
on.
other
now.
clan?
No,
Maybe.
no. I have my master set. Okay. But yes, overall, a lot of people coming in, getting into premium. In the event, though, before the premium event, which everyone was so excited about the P clan selection stuff, we'll get to that later, right? Was the standard event. We pulled in, I believe, 86, 88 people.
I think
in that event.
it was 86.
Yeah, I remember
86.
86 being thrown around.
86 people for the the standard event.
Yeah.
With the new Set 5 stuff, Set 5's been out for 2 weeks or
Set
3
5
weeks
and
already.
Festival Collection.
Forgot about Festival.
Yeah.
I think one Zorga did make top cut there.
Top
Yep.
16, there
Yep.
was a Zorga. There was no Orphis. I think there was only like one Orphis player the whole day, which was surprising.
Yeah.
Because I think Regis is a really strong card.
I haven't played it enough. I played Nick
Yeah.
playing it, and it's really good. It's more consistent than, like,
It's more than CB2
Orphis.
to make half a board. So,
it's fair. But what I think is the most interesting part, right? We're talking about all the new stuff. We're talking about all the stuff we know is going to get hit.
oh, yeah.
Their final times, their final moments in both formats, right? So we have Inlet and Mega Colony. I'm sorry, Inlet and Magnolia getting its final run around.
Although Inlet does work in Mega Colony.
It does. We'll get to that later. You can keep your secret text.
Oh,
to
yeah,
yourself.
I'm keeping the tech to myself. Don't worry.
But Magnolia itself no longer going to be focusing on Inlet.
Hopefully.
In
Don't
the
mess
next
it up,
ban list.
English.
I
technically
doubt.
no.
I think English is going to hit the majority of there. Like, Inlet has been talked around between both sides, right? I definitely don't think that Kagro card's going to get hit in premium.
I would hope not.
I
And
don't see a reason why.
Dude, you guys remember, as soon as the Inlet combo with Magnolia was like a thing, how long have I been complaining about that combo? Since it got found out? Because it seems really fair to like have half your board go to your soul, then you draw 3, and the rest of your board is untargetable. So it's just like,
And then you have NPEX
oh yeah,
being
yeah.
untargetable.
You have impacts that makes things untargetable, or you just have bears that make things ridiculous numbers.
How do you kill Seraph Stone in 2 seconds?
Yeah, literally. So
That.
the inlets go to soul. Then when you ride the grade 4 pure light, they're just like, oh, these inlets that went to soul, put them in the prison so I can call them out next turn.
Yeah, it's crazy. I get them back.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, yeah, it literally just killed like prison at the start of set 4 and like before Inlet with Magnolia was starting to get played was like rumored to be the strongest deck, and then when people found out about Magnolia and Inlet, they were like, oh yeah, this deck's bad now because it loses to the best deck in the format, which is Magnolia.
So, Magnolia Inlet, definitely going to be like one of those big ones.
Yeah.
All right. The following one is Mega Colony. Shockingly enough, and I'm not going to get on ban list a lot since that was last time's podcast. Shockingly enough, Mega Colony was not touched
In Japan.
But
They let it
English
be.
is waiting an extra week after the response of like the Japanese ban list
Yeah.
to ban cards. So high probability, like an 88% chance.
Yeah, I mean, since I played the deck, I don't want it to get hit, but playing it with the new cards, the new Stride and the new G-Guard, the deck is definitely not fair. Also with the new inclusion from set 5, Maple, the Moth Girl. High-class gentleman got his girlfriend finally. Then...
Barely anyone's going to get that joke.
Yeah, nobody's going to get that unless they know the Mega Colony cards.
Yep.
But Maple is a card that I threw in the deck for the event with playtesting, and I thought it was very good. The new Stride literally tucks it to soul every time, and then you just Gridora it back out because Maple works whenever you Stride because it's during your ride phase. So it's literally just an infinite put to soul or body on your board every turn. Really, really, really strong in the deck. And then the new Stride in itself is a very, very strong. I don't know why it's not a Murakumo card, because it minuses power or it blows stuff up if it's stood for free, because you counterblast one, push a card to rear guard to soul. Then if you retired a stood unit, countercharge one, draw one. So it replaces the unit and it replaces the counterblast. And then if you didn't retire anything, your opponent's Vanguard gets minus 10k. And it is stackable. So as many of the copies you have face up in your G zone, you can use that skill.
So Bugs become Shiryuki, and Shiryuki got like a multi-attacker strike.
Yeah, Shiryuki became Magnolia, and
it's okay. I mean, I like the Murakumo stride. Though,
yeah, no, the Murakumo card is very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the new stride for Soul Blast 1 says, hey, are you going to rest your board or rest cards to minus your turn already, or am I going to get a 45k shield for free to take my 13k Vanguard to a 58 with 1 card, which is insanely strong. The deck never runs out of soul anymore. I used to sort of have that problem where it could run out of soul, but with the new stride, since you're tucking cards to soul every turn, you're good to go. I literally didn't run out of soul the entire event that weekend, and I just think that's nuts that the deck's problem was soul is no longer a problem.
So we're getting into that weekend, right?
Yeah.
Standard, none of us made top cut, but our boy Ryan got top with
Ryan
Mag.
Velasquez.
There we go. Right. Good job, dude.
Yeah, the homie, he got top 16 with Magnolia. From what I remember, in the top 16 round, he played against Addis, and he was playing Nirvana, and he literally never saw his grade 4, like, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it happens. It's how it be. But yeah, congrats to Ryan for top 16.
But
very proud of the boy.
we get into P-Clan selection, the tournament, right? You both went 6 rounds before top cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was exhausting.
Who wants to go first talking about their 6 rounds?
You can go.
Yeah,
I'll be the last one.
Mine are pretty straightforward because I played Jewel Knights. I will say round 1, I won't go too much into detail. I was, first big tournament, first round, first game, full of nerves.
He was very nervous, but after that,
Yeah.
he started talking to me. I was like, calm down, brother. You got this. And then look at that. He got there.
Yeah, I misplayed way too many times in round 1. I missed effects. I, at one point, forgot to stride. Like, we're talking real rookie mistakes.
In your
right?
round 1?
In my round 1.
What did you fight round 1?
It was the Jewel Knights mirror.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was playing Zarita round 1.
Yeah,
Eric Zarita.
Ah.
Yeah, he was playing his tutor.
Yeah, I was playing the guy who I basically watched play to learn how to play the deck myself. So it should have been a pretty chill round 1 because I knew the person I was playing, so there was no animosity or anything like that. But just the nerves got to me, misplayed a lot. It happened. So I did lose that round 0-2, but I think it's a weird thing to say. I think it was a good thing, right? Because it being such a bad round, I was pretty upset with myself. And the rounds going after that, I was much harder on myself and not missing those things, right? Making sure I don't make those misplays. Not that I played perfectly, but I played, correctly.
Yeah, no, I think it was also just very good for your mental. As ironic as it sounds, you lost round 1. But then after you lost, you ran over to your teammates, and we were like, yeah, just breathe, man. You got it. You'll do fine. And then you started getting that mentality to just breathe, relax. It's just a big locals. That's all it is.
Bro, you make it seem like you gave him something else.
I know that Ezel match, he asked for something else.
We'll get to the Ezel match. We'll get to that. So round 2, I played against Hari, which is a deck I've seen but never played against. So I took that round slower, trying to figure out how the deck works and pretty much what its mechanics were. And I did lose game 1 to a misplay, but overall after game 1, I felt like I had the download. I felt like I was pretty confident into the matchup. So game 2 was pretty back and forth.
Jared, power
Yeah.
up.
we went hacker man mode, right? Nah, game 2 was pretty typical. It was back and forth. We got to the GB3 stride for Crystal Luster and Jewel Knights, and we just pushed for game, right? Pretty much what you expect.
Yeah, you got the download.
Yeah. Game 3, I felt bad because these guys know when we play at locals, I am not a luck sack. Right, my crit, or my triggers are pretty average at best.
His luck is beyond empty.
Yeah, I hit the most stacked Salem swing I have ever seen in my entire life.
I think you told me about this.
Man was at 3 damage, right? And I swung my board. He guarded pretty well. I mean, they weren't like huge numbers, so he was able to guard and not burn through his hand. It was pretty good. And I swing Salem. He's at 3 damage, so he says no guard. I'm like, yeah, it's a bit risky, but I respect that, right? You're trying to save resources for the board that comes after. My drive checks were literally crit, over, draw, crit.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah. So that was immediately 3 damage on the restanding main card, and that was game 2. I felt bad.
Did you help your opponent back up? did you pick up his cards?
Send him to the Shadow Realm, bro.
Yeah. Like, did you have to drag him out of the venue?
It was just one of those, like, I don't know what happened. It just Royals, bro.
I don't think he knew what happened either.
Yeah, it's Vanguard. That's
Yeah,
how
right.
it be.
Royals on that. Hey, Royals, bro.
So that's how round 2 went. And of course, after
We're
that,
still on round 2?
yeah,
Yeah, bro.
that was round 2.
It's our podcast. We're going to talk about our matchups, bro.
I felt like round 2.
I would say, honestly, one of my favorite parts about this event was in between rounds and going and telling the team that I won and just how excited they got to see that I was winning games.
Yeah, I remember
We were like a tribe.
Yeah, towards the
I
later
can't
rounds.
stop this feeling. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka. All right, before we get copyright strike.
We were all getting really hyped as soon as he started winning.
Yeah.
The first win was like, all right, let's go. But as the wins kept coming, they would get really, really hyped between rounds, and it was so exciting.
We were happy for the boy, man.
Yeah.
His first tournament.
First
and he
tournament,
wins.
and he's getting there, bro.
Bro, mind you, let's give you guys some context. Every time in logos, this guy's like X4. Like,
Yeah, not to throw shade, but this man's always like X4, like 1-3, because he gets a bye. Like,
okay, like we had to check his like time card. Mind you, we went to BS. We look at Best Coast parades and like, so Jared what? Jared what? You're like a myth. You're like an outlier.
So going into round 3, honestly, there wasn't really anything like outstanding about it. It was a really fun game. The guy I was playing against, he was playing Murakuma with the new stride, playing Shiryuki, obviously. It was an extremely fun set. The new stride seemed really fun to play. It was a not too frustrating deck to play against, right? It seemed pretty healthy and power level, I guess is the way I would describe it. It was just a fun match overall. I think we went to game 3 because I think I lost game 1 and then won game 2 and 3.
When you guys were in game 2, so yeah, I believe you went.
Yeah, I think we went to game 3, but other than it just being a really fun match and the guy being super chill and really fun to play with, there wasn't anything like outstanding, no like crazy drive checks or I think we both defensive over triggered in one game. Like it was pretty standard, right? So that's round 3, right? We go to break and we all go get food.
Oh
We're just
yes,
kind of
that
hanging
lovely
out.
1 hour break that's probably going to be gone, so we don't play till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Which
guys.
we'll get to that story when we hear his playthrough.
Sorry, guys.
So as if fate were preordained, right? At the going towards the end of the break, I head back into the venue and I see Matt, who's off to the side, off camera right now, and I'm thinking to myself because I know I had heard that there were a couple golds players in the tournament, and I had played the matchup one time against Matt, and I got destroyed, right? Like. I'm not used to damage denying or like grade 2 gaming or anything like that, right? So when I first played against Golds that one time, I was just playing my usual game.
Yeah, he was just swinging. He was going nuts. Golds were like, "You give me 5 counterplays?" Yo.
I think there was like one game, right, where I think I went second or first or second. Like he swung first, and this man just goes swing, crit. then he played a rear guard and swung again, and I'm like 3 damage, and I'm going into Spear X.
I think that was like a week after I got Jewel Knights, which was my first premium deck. So I mean, we were new.
He was
right?
new. He was
Yeah.
getting there.
So this
yeah.
is like another thing of context, right? Like we've told you many times, just don't attack. Don't give counterblinds.
Again, this was that was the one time I played against golds, right? And you know, I'm still at the point where I'm learning matchups, what matchups I should damage deny, what matchups it doesn't matter. But I knew that there was a couple golds players, and I'm like, okay, as I'm getting further in, the pool is getting smaller. So I see Matt just kind of chilling off to the side, and I sit down. I'm like, okay, listen, I have a feeling I'm gonna be paired against golds. What is a safe damage to give? And he says, none.
No. I said 0.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference?
Yeah, none or 0. Like,
Because with 0, you really just gotta emphasize it. You just gotta just go 0.
Yeah.
Like you have to. I looked you in your face and I said 0.
Yeah.
Like
So-
really,
0.
I turned a 1-syllable word into like 3.
I expected this to be like some, like, you know, like he was going to go in on like, yeah, no, you can give this amount in this situation. No, he's just like 0. I'm like,
And he is correct.
he's right. I'm like, okay. Next round,
Bet.
break ends. Round 4 starts. Paired against Ezel.
Yep. Mans knew the future. He was like, hey, Matt, how do I play against golds? And then gets paired against golds. And I was
Yeah.
just like, what?
So
How much damage did you give them?
game 1, I won the die roll. I went first. So I see he's playing a Forerunner starter. I'm looking at my hand. I've got Eunice and I've got Morvidus. I got my 2 grade 1s, right?
Is Criff on ban?
Kirf? Was it the Kirf Forerunner?
Or no, sorry, it wasn't the Forerunner starter.
The quick shield draw?
Yeah, it was V starter.
Oh, okay.
I was I got too far ahead of myself. Misremembered. Too far
I was like,
ahead
you
of
could have won that game so much quicker by saying 2 words.
Not even 2, just judge. Yeah.
myself. No, I misremembered. I got too far ahead of myself. I was in game 2 mind, right? Now, game 1, I go first. I ride Eunice and just pass. He rides, I don't even remember the typical golds grade 1.
You write some shiny gold
Yeah.
paladin card.
Yeah.
Swings at me, gives me some damage. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Oh, you know what? I actually forgot a round. I forgot the Dimension Police round.
We can get to that one.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. I forgot that was technically round 3. The Shiryuki was round 4.
So golds was round 5.
Yeah, golds was round 5.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll come back. That's fine. So I go into my grade 2. I ride Sybil. I pass. I'm not giving him anything. I am scared to death.
Mans is mortified. He's like,
Did he give you a rear guard?
Huh?
You could have swung at the rear, right?
He gave me a back row rear guard. He gave me the back row that it
You
has
can
an
attack
on
that?
hit.
I was kidding. No, you can't.
It has the on hit, but I don't remember what the on hit
Was
is.
it a white lion?
Yes.
Oh, if it hits, he looks at Ezel's, puts one on the
Yeah,
soul,
he puts
one in his
Ezel in the
hand.
soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you don't want that one to hit.
no, yeah.
Yeah, no, that one's bad.
I guarded for that. And I go to grade 3, and I'm like, at this point, his next turn, he's right into grade 3, so I'm not worried about a superior ride.
yep.
So I just start swinging out. It's like he gave me 3 damage because he crit on his first swing. So I just started swinging out. I used 2 CB and saved the 1. I put him to 4, I think. It was 3 or 4. Saved the 1 CB because I didn't know how much he knew the matchup. I didn't know what he was going to do. So if he was trying to damage deny me or something, I was going to at least save 1 CB to restand. Right? He full swings out. I take like 2 more damage. I think I put myself to 5 and guarded the rest. And then we just go Salem Crystal Luster. Like,
Yep. You did the Jewel Knights thing.
yeah, not much else to say, right? We just did the Jewel Knight stuff. Game 2, where I misremembered the V starter, was because he went first, right? Because the rule was just whoever lost goes first. There wasn't like a choice,
Yeah.
which
That
I was
rule.
not a fan of.
We'll get to that in a minute
Yeah.
because Francisco's not a huge fan of it.
So he goes first, and where I misremembered was that he rode, when he went to grade 2, he placed the grade 1 with the on hit, right? So he rides his grade 1, I ride my grade 1, which I ride Eunice and pass.
Yep.
Then he goes to grade 2, rides the places the grade 1 with on hit, swings, block it. I guess he didn't know what Eunice did. So I go back to my turn and I ride Sybil and I retire his rear guard with the on hit.
Did this boy just say that he didn't know what Eunice did?
I guess, because he placed it in the same column.
Shout out to Francisco whenever you guys play test and he puts it.
Yeah, every time.
Bro, it's not even on rear guard. It's just Vanguard circle.
Yep. So he'll put the
Van or rear.
What is the name of that card? The grade 1 that lets you draw a card. Is it a Eradicate Dragon or Exterminate Dragon?
Eradicator Demolition Dragon.
Demolition Dragon. He always puts it behind his van, and
I
then
was like, okay, simple. Call over, retire.
yeah, Jaron will ride up and then blow it up.
Bro, I have to be like colorblind because
Every time.
because I know the card draws, but second I see it on Van, I just feel like it's useless, and it's not.
Bro, that card is my favorite card in the deck. I swear, it just gives the most utility. Like,
Good card.
such a good card.
So we move in. You had the DP matchup, right?
Yeah.
DP matchup. Did you win that one, or
Yes.
did you get bodied?
It was 2-0.
What did you lose to?
I lost round 1 to Zarita.
Okay.
And then round 6, I lost to Condrick.
Yeah.
Shadows versus Royals.
Yeah.
Chain Ranker versus Crystal
And-
Luster.
So
Basically.
I'll get into why I lost game 1 of that because I was actually kind of mad at myself because I just
Oh, I remember you telling me this.
yeah, it was such a dumb mistake because I was really excited because I was actually using the new Royal Stride this event even in Jewel Knights, right? I found it does have value even though it's kind of just a budget Salem skill. When you only have 1 CB, they damage deny you. It gives you multi-attacking. Like it works. It's kind of sad sometimes because you would much rather have your Crystal Luster Salem turn, but if you can't get that turn anyway, might as well go for it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm losing small concentration because this man's cracking his knuckles and I
Yeah.
can hear it
I'm sorry.
through the
I'm sorry. I'm
headset.
sorry.
You guys
I'm
all
sorry.
laugh.
I'm sorry, everyone.
But yeah, no, the DP matchup, or that matchup anyway, it was not the build I was used to fighting.
Oh, wait. I know what it's the Daikaiser one,
Yes,
right?
it was the Daikaiser.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
That's why you 2-0'd it. That's what.
Yeah, it was not the build I was used to fighting.
Now, I don't know anything about that man's competitive point of view, right?
Yeah.
But that deck looked like a bunch of one-offs. I saw Dayusha in there.
Yeah.
He might have just been playing to play, or he was just testing.
I was still wondering how he won one game. Because
Yeah.
when I fought him, he was 1-2.
I mean,
you played him too?
Yeah.
we both played him.
Nice.
There is still Unibird, so
Well, Unibird
Yeah.
is a card, so
yeah.
yes.
But no, because it was a different build, and he wasn't aware of how the new Royal Stride worked because I mean it was new. I caught a lot of people off, or not new Royal Stride, sorry, new Royals G Guard. I ended up catching quite a few people off guard with the new Royals G Guard. I guess people just assumed no one was gonna play Royal stuff or something. No one looked at what the cards did. If you don't know, the new Royals G Guard basically gives your Interceptor a PG effect. It's a really, really nice G Guard if they don't swing at your rear guards.
Yeah, I was about to say until they swing.
Yeah. He did not swing on my rear guard, so when he swung with the 4 or 5 damage Unibird, I just intercepted it for a PG.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
It doesn't count as a Sentinel. It
yeah,
just has
correct.
the Sentinel effect, or the Perfect Guard effect.
Yep.
So we were able to play around that pretty well. And so that match was not too bad. Round 6 against Condrick.
Oh, we just got there. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
we were still talking about Conjuring.
No.
No,
We're talking
that
about
was,
DP.
that was the DP match.
Andrew, we're about to draw shade.
No,
Get ready.
I
No,
heard that
I'm
game was
kidding, I'm
really
kidding.
chill.
Yeah, it was super chill. We were just kind of, like...
I'm so
talking
proud
and
of you,
joking.
bro. You made it.
Yeah, basically. But no, so game 1, I could have pushed to kill. I was looking at my resources and what I had. I had 3 cards in Soul, so I could not Salem Restand. Nothing in hand to get Soul back. As surprising as that is for Jewel Knights. I just did not have those pieces. It happens, right? So I'm thinking to myself as I stride, it's the new stride, right? That's what I got to do.
Yeah, and then you second
So
guessed yourself.
I put the card down, but I did not let go of it. And I thought, and I was thinking ahead, and I forgot the reason I was going into the new stride was because of Soul. So I'm like, why am I doing this? I put the card back, put Crystal.
he was thinking 10 steps ahead. He was like, all right, since I don't have these cards, we're gonna go into the new stride to make a somewhat okay turn.
Bro.
Then he goes into Crystal Luster and is like, Crystal Luster, woo!
bro, this is the equivalent of like a guy playing a gacha game and like you know how it has the auto run, or you could play like he was playing right, and then he forgot what he was doing. He was like auto play, Crystal Luster.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. In my gotchas, I do that too. So I can't even get mad at you.
Yo,
like I want to, but I can't.
We'll get to an autopilot moment in the top 16 match.
Oh yeah,
but so yeah, I went into that, and then I'm like, because I'm looking at my board. I'm like, I turned the Crystal Luster sideways, and I'm like, wait a minute.
We done goof.
Wait a minute.
There was a reason I didn't do this. And then I was like,
Did you take it back?
no, because I'd already let go of the card. I was like, I gotta go with it, right? Now, bear in mind, it was still a GB3 guard restrict turn.
Yeah, it was still a strong turn.
So we were, and I did have an Ashley in hand. So even though I couldn't restand, I was still gonna get a new board. I still got to swing multiple times, but it just wasn't enough to kill. And then you wanna know, game 2 was very straightforward, but honestly, both games ended with the same sentence. And I swear this is how every match ends when I play against Kondrik. The statement was, if you hit a stand, you got it.
Who knew Shadows played
It
stand?
sounds like Morfessa.
No, that's literally every match too that me and him played. It's literally every time. If you hit the stand, you got it.
Bro,
Spoiler
I
alert.
say that so many times. And he hit the stand, right?
Spoiler alert,
Yeah,
he hit the
he
stand.
always
Yeah.
hits the stand.
Yeah, we play 6 stands in the deck.
He plays 6 stands in the deck, and half the deck is milled out because of Dagda
Right.
and all the skills
and
needed to
Morian
mill the great
Spear
ones.
and all that.
But it
jazz.
literally came down to, I guarded like everything except the last hit. And it's like, okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, Shadow's like the only deck that will mill out its critical triggers just to make
Just
sure
to
you
hit the
dead.
stand. Yeah.
They'll also just put them back in because
At the end
Yeah.
of turn, which is the great part.
that's fine.
Or you just, the
crits will
Raven,
go
dude.
back to deck at the end of turn. Our stands go back to deck when retired.
Yeah.
And then when they're done and the deck is staying stationary, they return the PG to the bottom of the deck.
Yep, and one to hand.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that card's fun.
But so we got the point, I think, right? Morfessa, hit the stand, you got it.
Yep.
All right. So, roll credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
But after that, after you took the L on 6, right? You were X2,
Yeah.
right? You got 14th?
Yes, 14.
Yes. 14th was, so I was 11th at the time of starting round 6, right? Losing to Kondrik pushed me to 14th. Technically pushed me to 16th, I think.
Yeah, it did. But the other people.
But then the
were
other
playing.
matches, the tiebreaker score, right, pushed me back up to 14th.
You know, he had very good tiebreakers because 2 tiebreakers were Zarita and Kondrik, who were also both in top 16.
Yeah, the only 2 people I lost to were also top. So my score was pretty good for that. So it kept me up.
Yeah, 2 people going in. I had one really high person going in, the other one just pulling me down.
Yeah.
So I got 18th, which is the thing that bugs me because
Yeah.
that might as well be bubbled,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
One of my losses was the one who went undefeated in rounds,
Yep,
right?
Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
Which was Marshall. Marshall, by the way, your deck's still coming to me. I'm waiting on the spikes slowly, but they're coming.
This fucking-
This
All right.
guy-
And then my second loss was to Anthony Cruz, and like it was DP. I was like, if I didn't see my heal, I ain't gonna go anywhere in this deck because they didn't give me a PGG Guardian.
Yeah.
I would have loved the PGG Guardian.
All right,
but sure.
Narukami doesn't need one. Calm
Narukami
down.
needs a PGG Guardian. Yes, please.
He's gaslighting. Guys. Don't listen to him.
Bro,
Can I get one for Aquas, please?
No,
yeah.
no.
Get one for Aquas too.
Give everyone.
No.
Give everyone. While you're at it, give all of us Crystal Lusters. I already have one, but like,
Mega Colony gets one. It's just like if you don't rest any.
They gave one to Grand Blue, basically.
yeah, they gave one to Grand. Oh, the second skill to Grand Blue.
Yeah, they give the Garter Strip to Grand Blue. But that's what you use Crystals for anyway. It's fine.
So after that, you got top 16. We're gonna hold you on the top
Yeah.
16,
Come
and you have less time. I apologize.
I mean, I can go through it fairly quick.
Mega Colony. now.
All right, so I played Order Colony. I was the only Order Colony at the entire event. There was one other Mega Colony player. He was playing the old Gridora, where you lock a column out, basically. So round one, I get paired against Tachikaze. I 2-0 Tachikaze. He game one with G assist grade 1. Like, he did not have a grade 1, so I'm just killing him. Then game two, it was a little more back and forth, but he could not compete with the hand size I had, so I just got it in that regard. Game two, I went into, or round two rather, I went into Silverthorns. I 2-0'd that as well. Yeah, I fought like the one Silverthorns player at the whole event.
You're playing Donovan.
I was playing against Donovan Mata, I think is his last name.
That's kind of hype.
Not for him, it's not.
Well, okay, yeah, sure.
So, in case you guys didn't know, Ridora says you can't call from anywhere other than from hand. So that whole like thing that Pale Moon does, where they call from soul 8 times a turn, doesn't work.
What's a soul?
Yeah, it's basically how they feel. So he just never could live because I never rode up. I just grade 2 gamed him until he rode up, and then when he rode up, I'd just go Gridora, and then I'd win. Then round 3, I go against Spike Brothers. Addis was playing Spike Brothers. Really cool guy. We met him at this event. Love talking to him. And I 2-0'd him.
What's up, Dexave? How you doing?
So I 2-0'd him. He played really well. He played well. Yeah, I was a menace all day today. I like all day the other day. I either 2-0'd or I got 2-0'd. There was no in between. So I played him. We grade 2 game for the longest time. And I was somewhat winning, but I wasn't winning. So one game I was winning because I had the Moth, so I had infinite countercharge. And then the other game I did not, so I had to ride up and just hope. He did not kill me, and then I killed him on the crackback. Then we go to lunch. We eat lunch. Me and Francisco ordered a pizza, and it took like 30 minutes to make.
Pizza did not go well.
I ordered my food like
Pizza
15
was-
minutes after they did, and I got it like 15 minutes before they
The
got
pizza
done.
was pretty good. I'll give him that. It was kind of worth the wait.
Not worth the stomach issues.
Yeah. Round 4, I play against the big bad dog himself, Marshall.
Dun dun dun.
And he proceeds to 2-0 me. Game 1, I tried the grade 2 game. It did not go well for me. I never saw the Moth. I just didn't have counterblast, didn't have hand.
You did have an achievement that game.
I did have an achievement that game. We'll get to that in a second. So I died that game on grade 2. Then game 2, I learned that I don't sit on the grade 2 game, and I ride up. I just rode up, get the book, draw 3. Good card. And then, so at this point, nobody had lived Marshall's first stride all day. Nobody had lived it. Until me. I lived first stride and second stride. So that game, I believe I should have technically won game 2. There was a huge misplay on me because it was my skill. I used Gridora. This is my third stride, or might have been my second stride because it was his third stride that killed me. His whole board was rested. He had 0 cards in hand. Top decked the stride fodder, strode into ace. Ace is the one that lets them draw cards equal to their cards face up in the G zone, so he drew 6 cards. But he called cards from deck. Neither of us caught it till the game ended. It was on me entirely. I did not want to issue a game loss or anything like that because it was technically on me as well. And I didn't realize it until after we had both scooped up our cards. So I was just like, it's okay. I forgot. You got it.
The really bad part is just like, once you play it, you played it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I was really worried about living because I had a very low hand at this point. And I was just like, how do I live this turn? And I was at 5. So I was just really stressed about living. So I wasn't thinking entirely. But it's fine. I'm not upset about it. I'm glad Marshall got it. He's the homie. Then the irony of it all. Round 5. I'm on stream. Me and Anderson are both X1.
Anderson is our local and teammate playing Dimension Police.
Yes, he is our local DP. He's he's really good. He loves the clan.
He punches.
He punches really hard.
That's it.
So we proceed to go on stream, and we're just like, this is so scuffed. Why did they put the two teammates on stream against each other?
There's a lot of team kill matchups.
Yeah, I know Nick and Connor played each other. What, round 3?
Yeah.
Round 3.
Yeah, round 3.
I ended up getting that match.
Yeah. So me and Anderson go on stream. I proceed to 2-0 him, which hasn't happened like a lot when we play. Like we play test a lot, me and Anderson do. I don't think there's ever been a time where I've had such a clean 2-0.
Maple.
Dude, Maple put in work. She always does.
Last minute attack, Maple.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So game 1, he never had a hand at all because of the new stride. The new stride just made him go minus in power, and he's just like, oh, yeah, these grade 3s are really big shields, but they're still not enough. So I have to commit another one. And then game 2, he whiffs G assists for the grade 2. Luckily, he went first. Other words, he would be dying because he'd be on 2 and I'd be striding. So luckily, he went first. I don't ride up on the. So he whiffs the G assist. He swings in. He doesn't hit. I go to grade 2. I punch him a bit. He rides. He got the grade 2 off the drive check. He got a die dumper. And then he rode it and then swung. I won to pass with a quick shield, didn't hit. And then on the following turn, I did not ride up. I do not want Geoma Glass hitting me in the face for like 5 crits. So I'm good. And he will ride up because he wants to find the grade 3s using Die Liner's skill. So I had no problem with that. So that happened. And then one turn, I had a Shadow Cloak, and Gridora. Gridora swung. He perfect guarded it. It was blank, crit, over, which I did heal because we were tied at 2. I healed, drew 2, gave the crit from the crit trigger, all effects of Shadow Cloak, and then I gave the over trigger crit to the Shadow Cloak. So he went from 2 to 5. He apparently had a PG, but he wanted the damage. So he went into Unibird. And then he didn't have the GB or he had the GB, but he did not have the burst stand trigger, the one that tucks itself to soul to let you pop PGs.
So he was or was not GB2?
He was.
But he didn't have the stand.
He did not have the stand.
Let's go.
He had 1 card in hand, and he played the grade 2 that says on place your opponent can CB 1 and Soul Blast 1. If they CB, you don't draw a card. He had 1 card in hand, and I had a CB. I was like, nah, you can have that 1 card in your hand. If it's the stand trigger, you got there, homie. But if it's not, I have a perfect card waiting for you.
No opportunities.
Yeah. So after that turn, he doesn't kill me. I just kill him on the crackback. I used both the strides effects. He was -7, and I had 5 attacks on a Persona ride turn. And he ate the first one because he hit a heal off the drive checks with Unibird, and then he ate the second one, and there was no way he was living after that. Then round 6, I played against my buddy Hard Ali. Me and him play every single KSC, it feels like, and it's almost always the last round. And I proceed to 2-0 Ali. So we learned that Messiahs is not fun for the Messiah player when they're playing against Order Colony.
Yeah.
Because it used to be a bad matchup before because they could lock our front row and they'd be aggressive while they're doing it. But with the new stride, it says pick a stood unit, blow it up, countercharge 1, draw a card. Well, when the cards unlock, they unlock stood. So that vocal goad that was on the Force 2, every single time, I just said, tuck this unit to soul, blow it up, countercharge, draw.
Yeah,
I proceeded to do that like 3 times.
It basically turned the one advantage we had in that matchup, the reason it was playable, into our downfall.
Correct. So I never got to minus his power, but I blew up his board every turn, so he never had a board.
Yeah.
He did delete me once. He was playing Deleter Messiahs. He did not kill me that turn. He got me to 5.
Do you know what the leaders do?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I played against it, Frankie.
Well, like before, like it was like, what's delete?
No, he did delete me, but I rode up to grade 3, so I let him have a stride turn because I did not want to get deleted on a grade 2.
Easiest way to get undeleted stride.
Yeah, basically. Also, because the deleter, he said if he rode up to the grade 3 deleter, they have the skill to Soul Blast 1, and I don't undelete. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want that happening. I want a Vanguard. Thanks.
I want to play
and
the
then
game with it.
I 2-0'd him. So then we go into top 16. I'm going to talk about it real quick, and then I'm going to let Jaren have his discussion on his one game.
I mean,
in top
his
16.
one game to your 4.
I'll let him discuss it. I don't want to take his freedom away. Come on now.
All right, Jaren, your quick game. Let's go.
All right, it was really fast. So I got paired against Crow.
Yeah, Crow was playing Raging Form, correct?
Yeah, it was Raging Form. It was a blast of a game. The first thing, right, when we both sat down was us basically saying, I wanted to split. Like, neither of us wanted to play out this top 16.
Yeah, so just to clarify that, the only person that wanted to play out top 16 at the time was Angel, who was playing Regalia. Everybody else said split, including me. By the way, for Swiss, just so you guys know, through Swiss, I ended 5th place. Continue, Jared.
Yeah, so for the most part, the game was pretty typical, right? Like, I did not give much damage. I was pretty comfortable giving him 1 or 2, but no more than that. But what made the game fun was we were both exhausted.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was.
So there were, like, small mistakes and just silly little things. Like, at one point, I had my board ready, right? Like, I was going into it. I had my Vanguard, a column over here, and Lele was up on the force. I swung with the Lele, or I swung with this side, swung with the Lele, swung my Vanguard, which was Ashley at the time. And I'm doing the call, and I'm thinking, right? I'm telling myself, I have to call my grade 2 and Christine on this left column, right? So that Christine can have her 3 other Jewel Knight rear guards.
Somebody didn't do this.
I'm about to hear, like, I just go into Crystal Luster.
No. So I'm telling myself this whole time, I'm just like searching through the deck to find it. I grab the cards, and my mind goes full autopilot, and I'm just like, if I put it here, it's a 30K.
So he called it on the wrong side.
So, I feel like there are like important moments like these. Your brain just goes,
Yeah.
autopilot engaged.
You just hear like the Microsoft, like the MS-DOS, like boot up, and it's like 30K.
Big number.
And then I put the Christine down, and I'm like, 1, 2, wait a minute.
We have a problem, Houston.
Yeah. And then, like, I realized I'm like, oh.
I didn't mean to do that. It didn't happen.
So we're joking about that. And then the next turn, Crow's going through his stuff. He goes, he does his first swing out, retires 3 grade
He does
ones. Yeah, does this. On his second one, he calls the Angel behind the Vanguard and tries to boost with the Angel, and we're both like, wait a minute.
So you both were tired.
Yeah, we were both exhausted, bro. Like,
Bro, they were running on dial-up at that point. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a fun set. Game 1.
I could just hear the error message pop up. Dong.
Yeah. Game 1, I definitely lost because of that Christine misplay, right? I went full autopilot. Game 2, I didn't see Salem. I think this was the first game the entire day that I didn't see the ride-up that I wanted. So it was like second ride-up, I was like ready to stride, right?
What, you didn't see the one of top 5?
Yeah, I didn't
3?
see Salem, didn't see my text slot Sisyphus to find Salem, right?
The more I hear this game, the more it just sounds like gambling at this point.
Right.
Like,
And I
the
could
cardboard.
I could have fixed it, right? Because I could have ended my previous grade 3 turn calling a Salem with Christine bounds at the hand. I just didn't think about it, right? I didn't think I wouldn't see it. So I didn't see the Salem. So I'm like, well, thinking about it, there's no way I live next turn with my hand. So I just said, I'm going to push.
Fair enough.
I got him to 5.
Close but no cigar.
Where does Raging Form
Bro,
really like to be?
I think we've gone to a point in Vanguard that like the first 5 damage does not matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Crow probably went to 5, and he looked at his damage. He was like,
Yeah. He's like,
When I ride Raging Form, I can counterblast 1.
He's just like, if only this kid knew what I'm about to
oh,
do.
I knew. I've played enough against Raging Form. This guy. But yeah, no, it was a fun set. If I saw the Salem, I could have been a little more passive and waited out to do like the one big turn I needed. But I just didn't see it, so I just said, I'm just gonna go for it. Just gonna go for game with what I got.
Famous last words.
Yeah, exactly. Famous last words.
Last time.
But no, it was a fun set. He's a really cool guy to play against. Really good player. Just played other than the grade 2 boost mess, fun play, like pretty much played perfect.
See, if you wanted to be a Giga Chad when you went into that turn where you were like, I'm probably dead on the crackback, you should have been like, on start of turn, declare final turn.
Judge?
You wouldn't have to call Judge. He was sitting right next to me.
So before we get into Logan's matches for Top Cut, which it's going to be another 4 rounds, guys. Get ready for that. I do want to make a little point there. His opponent, Crow, actually runs his own events up in Georgia, the Crow's Nest. It happened July 22nd? No, 23rd.
23rd, but
23rd, one day event. We're going to be there the 22nd, probably hang out, and then go the 23rd, play it out, and then we're going to have a nice drive back the 24th. So that's going to be a really fun event. It is going to be premium best of 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think best of 3 is confirmed, right?
I believe it's best of 3. I know it's.
I would hope so. Crow, if it's not best of 3, we got to talk.
I know it's.
Crow's in the chat. So.
Yeah, I believe it got updated, so it is top 16 for
Yes,
Top Cut.
I believe that was this.
And obviously Swiss, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have the Kingslayer crew, too. Anyone who goes does also get an invitation to the Kingslayer events, the events that we've been talking about for the past hour. So that's going to be a really fun thing. I'm also hearing news about invitationals that I cannot share. I do apologize. But I do know the dates already. My team will know in a little
Nick
bit.
just threw a tantrum in the corner in case you guys didn't know.
We don't know yet either, so it's not just.
Yeah, they're left out of the
Bro
loop.
said it's best of 1.
Oh, it's best of 1?
Yeah.
It's best of 1?
Bro.
Best of 1 and then Top Cut is best of 3.
Okay.
All right, at least Top Cut's best.
All right. Best of 1, play your rounds, and then best of 3.
Best of 1 in
I
quotations.
think Crow wants to avoid a 2 a.m. situation.
Oh,
I think is
yeah.
what's happening.
Fair, fair, dude. Fair. Yeah. So, speaking about 2 a.m. situation.
Yeah, okay. So when we get to top 16, Angels has played out. Okay. By the way, I just want to put this out there for the record. I was down to split. I was tired. It was like, I think it was like 10 o'clock when we started top 16. So top 16, round 1.
I should tell you what time it was because I sent the message.
Nice. I went against Zach Williams.
Wasn't it like 11:26?
It was something like that. I played against Zach Williams playing Tachikaze. So game 1, he gets it. So my nerves start setting in a little bit. Because I was like, I've only been 2-0'd or 2-0'd all day today. Something's going wrong. So he gets it. He goes into
It was 9 o'clock.
It was 9?
It was 9.
Oh, my God.
Gotta play faster, dude.
Yep, it was totally me that went to time every round. So
Were you
he
not
went-
playing Mega Colony?
he went into Neberos. First swing, I guarded it. Second swing, I had a PG for it, but he had 9 cards left in his deck on the second swing, and he still had an over trigger because he had the only cards he had in his hand were the drive checks. So I was like, well, over's still in the deck. So I was like, I sort of just have to take this and hope he doesn't get 2 crits because I was at 3. First one, crit. Second one, crit. Third one, blank. And I died. It happened. Game 2, he went into we grade 2 gamed a little bit. Game 2, he went. I think game 2 was the game he went into Giant Pharaoh or Giganta Pharaoh, the new stride. Very bad card into megas, just so you guys know. Zach had not had much experience with the matchup. So Gigantafaro says on swing, eat as many cards as you want, then choose that many rear guards you have. Give them the ability at the end of battle it attacks, Soul Blast 1 restands, and they gain 10k. They gain 10k permanently. The problem is he does that on the Vanguard swing. Brilliant Blister says, while your opponent's Vanguard is rested, you can put it on the guard circle, Soul Blast 1, discard a card, rest something. So I did that twice. So he had one other thing that was restanding. And it was just a Regiodon, which was like 24 or something like that with the 10k. So he didn't live the next turn. He had that, lost all momentum, and then I killed him. Game 3, I turned into a sack. On the grade 2, I hit Overtrigger, gave the crit to the Vanguard, 100 million to the rear. I did heal, and I did draw 2. So I had a huge hand now to his very little hand, and he went to 4 off of this, I believe. Then he rode up, because obviously he was pressured now. And then, God, that game's so fuzzy to me because I was nervous that whole game. And then I remember he went into a Neburo's turn. I lived. And then I used both of the new stride to put him at -8. So he was just dead. He was at 5. He had like 7 cards in hand or something like that after a Neburo's turn. And then I just had too much power. It was a Persona Ride turn, 5 attacks with the 13k boosters of Dorcas. It was so much. My columns were like 40k or something like that.
So you obliterated Tachi's.
All day, yes. Although Zach did play really well for not knowing the matchup, aside from the Gigantafaro turn.
That's fair. Zach always gets disappointed at Tachi's and then ends up topping.
Yeah. No.
I love that energy.
Zach
goes. Jared has that same energy.
Yeah, with Jewel Knights.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was everyone else that was. When I picked up Jewel Knights, it was everyone else saying, the deck is mid. The deck is just okay. And I'm just like, I just want to play the deck. I don't care how good it is. And 3 Jewel Knights were in top 16.
Yeah, no. Turns out that deck counters Order Colony.
Turns out that deck
But we'll get there
busted.
in a minute. We'll get there in a minute.
So
that's the finals.
We go from top 16 to top 8. Top 8, you fought Marshall Craven back at table.
So top
table.
8. Angel lost, so there was nobody else playing Play It Out. Then Alex Pereira says Play It Out. He played against Andrew Condrick.
Bro, Alex said Play It Out?
Yes.
Bro, it's his first top 2. What's with all these people talking?
No.
Condrick hyped him up. Yeah, he was like, it's the Messiah's mat. You're going to win this. You got this.
What a menace.
And then he played against Blake and then lost because he decked himself out.
Wait.
No shade to Alex, but how do you deck yourself out with Messiahs,
wait.
bro?
If I remember correctly, Angel said Play It Out too at top 16.
At top 16,
Yes.
and then Alex had played out at top 8.
Okay, who did Angel lose top 16?
Yes, he did. He
Bro,
lost,
just don't say Play It Out.
he lost on stream to the Aquaforce player. And then, so me and Marshall, I get the salty run back as my only loss through Swiss. On stream. Marshall's still undefeated. Undefeated the whole event. Until I showed up for the second time. Game 1, he misplayed severely, and he noticed it right afterwards. He stayed on a grade 2. So the start of this game, I drew pass. I did not have a grade 1. I was being extremely greedy. I was like, okay, I'll get it on the next draw, or I'll get it on the next turn G-Assist. I'll be fine one way or another. I'll be looking at 6 more cards. We didn't draw it for turn. Then we whiffed it on G-Assist. So I'm on a 0, and he's on a 2. We did drive check the grade 1, so that happened. Then he went, I was staying at low damage the whole time. I didn't want to get pressured too hard. And then he stayed on grade 2 when I was on grade 1, and I was like, what? Why not just ride up, gain force 1 and 2, and kill me? Then after he pushed the Dudley to Soul or the Agile fullback or whatever one it was, he instantly, I know you guys couldn't hear it on stream, but he literally banged the table and just yelled, fuck. He was really upset with himself. And I was like, it's okay, just calm down. You're not in a horrible spot still. Because me and Marshall, we're homies. I didn't really know him much before this event, but we actually got super close through this event. Because believe it or not, 2 players playing at their maximum skill cap at the current time being twice a day, you guys figure out each other's decks and play styles. So game 1, I recover. I get all the way up. Also wanted to point out, I gave him 0 damage the entire game, which I think is the correct way to play against Spikes, or at least Marshall's build. So the Swiss rounds, I still gave him damage, and then I learned that was a bad idea. So in the rematch, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to give him damage. I'm going to make him work for that heal guard to give him 1 CB. Game 1, he did have the heal guard. Didn't matter. I wound up taking it. I just had too many swings. It's the same thing. The new stride put him at negative numbers. I was way too big on a Persona right turn. It's too much. Game 2 starts off. Neither of us are G-assisting this game, thank God. And to put game 2, to put it simply short, he was learning how to play against my deck as well, to the best way he could, because Spikes calls from deck a lot. So he was using the utility stride Ace to draw cards instead of going into the new one to make a big kill turn. Because I always wrote up first. Spikes, in my opinion, is the only deck in the format, aside from other decks that could potentially compete, but that can compete with my list, because my list is built for grade 2 game, is the only deck that could check my grade 2 game, because they're getting like 4 attacks and they're all like 20k, and it's too much. It's too much for me to deal with. So I just chose to road up in that matchup. I didn't want to deal with it. I was like, I'll let him get a stride turn. After that, it becomes a lot harder for him with Gridora. So game 2, like I said, same thing happened. I put him in negative numbers. I was Persona right turn, really big numbers, 5 attacks. It's too much. Like, not many decks can handle it. And then I 2-0'd him on stream. I love Marshall. He played amazingly, aside from that one misplay. I actually embarrassed myself on stream with a play I did. I called a draw trigger off of Gridora's skill because I put Toxin Mutant on the bottom with the Moth to countercharge, but then I forgot I called Dorcas and shuffled, so I was confused. I embarrassed myself on stream. We fixed it because it is an illegal target, so I couldn't technically not call it, so I had to fix it to reverse game state to where it was, and then I called the correct card and lived with the embarrassment. Top 4, there was Eric Zarita, Blake, and then the Aquaforce player. Micah.
Micah.
Okay, Micah. Sorry, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Before we get there, I want to remind this is the end of stream because
Yes,
at this point it is already like
it was
12
It was
a.m.
11:30 when me and Marshall's game ended.
So
we were getting
picking up.
kicked out of the venue. So this is important because we went outside and played the finals on little like picnic benches.
Kingslayer kept going. They're like, we're going to run the event.
By the way, this time, Logan said play it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna get to that in a second.
He beat the number 1 seed in the whole tournament. So, me and Condrick said this on stream. If he beats Marshall, why not play it out?
At this point, I agree. You're already at top 4. Might as well finish what you started.
Yeah.
Now, 11:30 is kind of rough.
See,
All
it
right.
didn't bother me because I was focused.
You were on.
I was literally in the zone. Like, all I was thinking about was playing.
You were in the zone.
He was on the hopium.
I was on the hopium and the copium train. I was on all of it.
But yeah, going into top 4, stream was ending. I was picking up the stream.
Yeah.
And
so
you guys were playing it, and I believe you were fighting Blake.
I was playing against Blake, so I was against Luard. This matchup I was fairly familiar with, as I play against Nick and Condrick fairly often. Most of them learned against my build that they cannot grade 2 game me for very long. Blake is playing a little bit of different build. He's playing the not force marker build of Luard. And he stayed on grade 2 the entire game until he would stride into Seabreeze. He did it both games. I did not die either of those turns. He always would commit a little too early, in my opinion, to Seabreeze. I was at like 3, and I was just like, Seabreeze isn't scary on 3. It's scary at 4 or 5. But that happened. Game 1, I almost lost because I almost trolled myself. I countercharged with Mouth. This was, I think, my 3rd Gridora. I did not use Gridora's effect because I was nervous. I was focusing, unironically. But I was nervous. I was trying to win. So I did not activate that turn until I noticed it when he stood his Vanguard. I was like, you're rested. He was like, you did not pay for Gridora's effect. I looked at my counterblast. I was like, well, shit, you right. He went into a Morfessa turn. I had 4 cards in hand. These 4 cards are very important 4 cards. It was over trigger, draw PG, heal trigger. So he had Morfessa and 1 other unit on the board. He swings Morfessa first. He has 4 cards in deck. After he puts a draw PG in his hand and 1 on the bottom. He has 13 triggers revealed to public knowledge. The only card in his hand was that PG. So the last 3 cards in his deck were triggers. It was crit, stand. Everything to the rear because I perfect guarded Morfessa. So the rear guard got up to, I believe, 45k because they were the 5k crits. They were the Belowls. I G-guarded. And he learned that the new G-guard for Megas is not very fair. I Soul Blasted 1. He could not rest anything, and my Vanguard went to 58. So he had 1 card left in deck, so I just drew past, and he lost. Game 2, he did the Seabreeze thing again. That game was awkward for him because game 1 took like 30 minutes. It was a very long game 1 because we stayed on grade 2 for forever. Neither of us were slow playing, though. We were both constantly going at it. And in the end, it's the same thing as what happened to Marshall and Anderson and all of them. He got minus 20, and he could do anything because I was on Persona Ride turn. I was a menace all day. I had God hands all day. My deck was definitely running hot. I had 1 game where I didn't have the Book Dragon combo. 1 game all day. And I still had the other best ride because I had Intrude Scissors, so I got the Protect marker at least. But yeah, I 2-0'd Blake. Then
Final round.
Fight. I'm against Eric. So just so you guys know, my motivation to play top 4, not only was I've come this far, I may as well. I beat Marshall. Marshall went undefeated all day, and I'm gonna be honest, I felt bad beating him because everyone was like, this is your day, this is your event. They've been hyping it up for weeks. He's gonna win, and I take it from him. So I felt really bad, and at that point I was like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna play to win for Marshall. So Marshall became my motivation to win. Love Marshall. He's a great friend of mine after this event. So we get to top 2. I'm against his teammate, Eric Zarita, another member of Kingslayer Cards.
Final round.
So
Team Eclipse versus Kingslayer.
Yeah. So not only am I getting revenge for Marshall to win the whole day, I'm also getting revenge for Jaren because Jaren's loss was to Zarita. So game 1.
This match had a lot of writing on it.
These games were very stressful. He's playing Jewel Knights, a deck that is arguably the worst matchup for Order Colony because they call from hand anyways as part of their strategy. So, game 1, we grade 2 game for a while. He's at 2 damage. This is very important. He makes an Ashley turn on grade 2 with Christine Sword Me. So he's out of CB. He leaves a rear guard for me to swing at. So I ride up into the dragon, draw 3, swing at the rear. I don't want to give him any CB for his Crystal Luster turn to extend. And as soon as he saw me swing at the rear, he went, fuck. And that's when I think that match was just mine. Because he went into Crystal Luster. I was only at 2 damage. He was at 2 damage. but I had like 20 cards, not 20 cards, but I had like 12 to 13 cards in hand. He had a Crystal Luster turn with no CB.
He ended up having to ride Ashley.
Yeah, he rode Ashley. He didn't ride
if,
Salem.
If you have no CB at that point,
Well, no, that was his only grade 3 hand because I looked at his hand.
But it was fine because he could still call from deck because he wasn't under Gridora. So it's probably fine that he rode Ashley, honestly. He got me to like 3 or 4. Next turn, Persona ride, go into Gridora, neg him power. He lives because he hits. Bro, that man hits so many heals and so many overs. Oh my god.
bro, he did it against me too. It's fine.
Game 1, he hit defensive over trigger, I believe. And then he tries to kill me on the crackback. Doesn't happen. I kill him on the crackback. I neg him 20 power again. And he's at like 5. And he just dies. Game 2, he kills me because I fucked up. And I hate that I did. So he had the 3-card guard restrict. I had 8 cards in hand, but I should have had 9 because I had a Brium Blister on my board and he had no stood units. So it should have went back to my hand, and it literally would have made me live his turn, but I'm an idiot.
This is game 2.
This is game 2, but I'm an idiot and forgot. So he wins. So in my opinion, that should have been a 2-0, but that's my mistake. I misplayed.
It was a 2-0, Eric. A 2-0.
I mean, could have been. Then
Game 3?
game 3.
I heard something about an over in this one.
Yeah, there was an over trigger involved in this one.
It's weird. It's crazy.
Seems like those things should be banned.
So, yeah, you're right. So, we were getting very close to riding up. And then I was like, fuck it. I need to ride up. I need to apply pressure. So I ride up, Shadow Cloak's on my rear guard, and I call Maple from the drop because that card's busted. Swung Maple first. He guards it. Then I swing Van at his Van. I'm 23 because I activated the book and I couldn't stride because I rode up first. He says, no guard. Or I think he guarded this one. But my drive check was over trigger. Gave everything Shadow Cloak. I did heal. I drew twice. And then I think my second check was a crit. So same exact thing that happened to Anderson. He went from like 2 to 5. And after that turn, he just said, no, you got it. He made a turn. He played. I guarded. I ride up into Gridora. On his drive checks, he hits. This is very important. On his drive checks, he hits a heal, so he goes back to 4. I go into my turn. Swing. Doesn't hit a trigger. Swing. 6 damage heal. Swing. Guard. So he hit like defensive heals like 4 times in that best of 3. And one of them, and then a 5th was a defensive over. So I was getting unlucky. But then the turn passes to him. He has like 1 card in hand. Or I think he has a few cards in hand. But he has his entire board rested. And I think he would have to ride a heal trigger if he wanted to stand as Vanguard. So he's just like, no, you got it. And then we shook. And then I won. Very good games all day with everyone I played. I was ecstatic to play against everyone. This event, in my opinion, really put me on the map as a player. Before I was just always
One win, man. You don't get ahead. I was kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, me get ahead, sure. No, I feel like I finally got respect as a player. People acknowledge that I exist aside from my teammates. So that made me really ecstatic. I love that some of the best players in the game were acknowledging me, and they're like, you played really well all day. Congrats, you did so well. I almost cried after I won. I literally almost cried tears of joy.
I'm so sad I had to leave.
Yeah.
Right
So just so you guys know, my teammates all suck, bro. They all left while their homie played in the
Whoa,
final.
wait, hold up.
No. It was 2 a.m. It was 2 a.m.
Okay, all right. I will mute you. Give me a second. I want to let you guys know, quick rundown. It was 2 a.m.
It was 2
It
a.m.
was 1:30 when he was playing in finals. Okay,
Yeah, no, I'm not blaming them.
I left at almost 1. Okay, I had to pick up all the streaming equipment, which everyone dipped. Okay, it was only me and like the 2 foreigners closing up the place, staring at me. All right, and I didn't want them touching my equipment.
All right, Frankie, that's a strong word to say on a stream, but all right.
I didn't know where they were from, but they were rushing me out. They're like, I got to make the trip, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
But I picked up all the equipment, right? Got everything in, got it into the car, right? And I came back to this courtyard where there's only like 4 tables and like 2 of them are being used for this tournament.
Yeah, you came back when I was playing against Blake.
Yeah. And they were using like this one spotlight from like the
we
top
had,
right
we had
corner.
one light to see where we were playing. So if people spectated, they couldn't stand there. I'd be like, yeah, move, please. We can't see our cards.
It was the equivalent of the spotlights in the show.
Yeah.
In like team blackouts, like little carousel stadium,
carousel of
right?
event
It was just that
stadium,
all the lights were out but that one, okay? Like that was their match.
Yeah.
Then the other one was like this
We were under
dome.
a gazebo, yeah.
A gazebo with like a fan.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the place to be.
Yeah. I didn't get that table for round when there was top 4, but oh well.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, no.
And
all my teammates wished me luck. I understood them leaving. I was not upset.
I tried to stay.
Yeah, I meant it as a joke, Frankie. It was like 1 a.m. I'm not mad at them for leaving. A few of them had work in the morning. I'm not upset at them. But like I said, I almost cried after winning. Not just from winning, but from going over to Marshall and saying that I got it and I won. And he was just like, so proud of you. You did amazing. You earned this. You deserve it. And that just hit really hard for me because Marshall is one of my like role models that I learned from this event. I learned from him a lot, just like how I learned from a lot of people on my team.
There we go.
Now I'm just branching out to other teams and getting inspiration from them as well. And it just hit home like a little too hard. But yeah, after that, I was like, now I get to drive home, and I did not have to drive home. Andrew Kondrick was like, yo, Logan, you want to stay at our room for the night? Because it's like 3 a.m. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I do not want to drive home at 3 a.m. But then I didn't sleep all night because a few of them wanted to play me. I didn't mind. I have insomnia anyway, so I don't sleep anyways. And then we left at 7 because a few of them had to go home. I get home, I sleep for a few hours, wake back up.
Next day.
Next day, yeah.
All right.
Back to normal life.
Before we go into the documentary of Logan.
I wasn't going to go there. I was going to say, but yeah, the event was really fun. Thank you, everyone who played me. Thank you, everyone who played my teammates. Thank you, everyone who played, period. 78 is a really, really huge accomplishment for Kingslayer cards for premium. Like I said, thank you guys for coming out. It means a lot to all of us here.
Yep. Now, just to like give like a few insight, guys, Kingslayer is coming close to its last few tournaments before the invitationals. Invitationals, I think, is like in like 2 or 3 months. So, anyone that's got it, you got it. All right. So I would start planning. I do know that they're going to be doing something before the invitational event where they're going to do last minute, like, what's the C? Last chance qualifiers. Okay.
You see, I'm glad I don't have to stress about that stuff.
No. What about standard?
Our whole team's
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay. All right.
Jared will compensate.
Where's PBO?
But yeah, so we're coming into our last chance qualifiers close in like 2 or 3 months. So that Friday night before, you can try to get your invites to the event. Hopefully you have your opportunity to do so. I don't know how many more people are going to be showing up for the last chance qualifiers. So it may be kind of difficult to get a man pod running for
Easy
that.
solution. Just go to Crow's Nest.
Easy. Go to Crow's Nest.
Yeah, go to Crow's Nest in about a month, a little less than a month.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll all be there.
We'll be there, so you won't top. I was kidding.
That's toxic, bro.
That's funny.
I'm the one with the ego. You hear this guy.
Bro,
Bugs,
bro.
you're gonna get hit. You don't have to worry about that.
Bro, it's about the humor. Okay?
I'm just messing.
It's about that friendly reminder that if you see us at the event, your tournament entry and your ticket will be all for. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That got dark.
Hey, you guys need to check this man. You guys follow this guy on social media?
Those are some threats. Those are
All right,
fighting words.
all right,
Like,
all right.
comment, and subscribe. Wow.
All right, but no, all kidding aside, I hope you guys did enjoy that in-depth interview.
Yeah, I know this
Of
one's probably a little longer.
Yep. Of our boys topping our little legacies, our young Padawans that got up here.
He had to say
All right.
legacy because the back of my hoodie says it. Shake my head.
And they made it into Top Cut. They shown what they're worth. They're staying in the team. All right. They were on the cutting block, but no longer. I'm messing. You're fine.
Phone call away.
But that's going to be it for today's podcast. I do hope you guys did enjoy. This will be up on Spotify, later on YouTube. I'm working on a few kinks. You guys can catch it back on here on Twitch for any rundowns. And Logan, I know you're calling me out being toxic, but man, bro, can you stop cursing?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I swear like a sailor. I apologize. I try to refrain as much as I can, but sometimes I'm just like, whoop, there it goes. I apologize.
It's fine. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's podcast. We will be doing one next week. We are going to be doing one next week, possibly on the ban list, because we're going to be getting it right away. So post ban list reminders.
Live reactions?
Yeah, live reactions. So we're not going to see it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to live right here. I'm going to hope you didn't see it, and I'm going to be saying to you, this band, and I want to see your
How
reaction.
are we not
live.
going to see
I'm
it?
gonna see-
Discord has the bot.
I'm gonna see the dragon got banned.
You
I'm gonna be
have
like,
to. You have to live you have to live without internet for the whole 10 hours.
No, I'll pass, bro. I'll fake the reaction. It's fine.
All right. We won't do reactions, but we will have comments. What our thoughts are. Do we think this was a good hit? What do we hope to get unrestricted after this hit? What possibilities we have, and what does the new support have for us? So those are going to be great things to talk about, and I do hope you do catch it. But that's going to be it for today's podcast. I know I said this for the third time in a row. Ciao.
see you guys.
See you soon.
Thanks for watching The Dojo. If you would like to see more card fight content like this, make sure to catch The Dojo and Naru Samurai on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Spotify, and Apple Podcast.